We recently did a little round trip in Gwendolyn from the ranch in South Wales up to Ironbridge via Walsall, from there on to Welshpool, from Welshpool to Quay, that's the one in Wales, not the one in Devon, down to, from there to a place called Porthgain, very interesting, and finally all the way back home again. And this time I'm accompanied by Mandy and the two dogs. And episode 1 looks at Ironbridge. Gwendolyn is parked up the top corner of the car park of the Half Moon Hotel, or Half Moon Inn, and there it is over there, and it's right beside the River Severn as it runs through Ironbridge Gorge. And in order to stay the night in this car park, you pay £15, you get a voucher, and the voucher is redeemable against drinks and meals. There's our voucher, and I've booked a table for 7 o'clock where we can take the two little doggies and that person over there. Say hello.
Hello, good evening.
And it's long dress and bow ties.
Yeah, right.
Pre-dinner drinks have been drunken. Mandy's got her earplugs ready for this tonight because of my snoring, and we're off to the pub for a meal. The one thing that concerns me is Mandy wants to leave the kitchen window open, and I hope nobody nicks the fairy liquid bottle while we've gone. And now we're off down to the pub to spend our £15 voucher.
Oh, you could have a bath in that, Tilly. She could bathe in that one, look. Come on, look, Tilly. She wants a pint.
Yeah.
Wants a pint, look. Not that she's used to it or anything, mind.
Well, it's a good looking menu. That I can see what I'm going to have. Cajun chicken. See if it's as good as the one I made. Well, I'm having a half of a pale ale and Mandy's having a cause. And we've got a table with a nice view over the terrace and across to the river. There's my Cajun chicken. It looks good and it tasted fabulous.
It's very good. The prawns are cooked beautifully, and the linguine is nice. Whether they've made it here or not, I really don't know. There's lots of sauce, and the tomatoes are nice and fresh. The prawns are cooked well.
Well, there's no doubt about it. That was a really good find. Food was superb and the location is really lovely. Well, at the moment the river is well low and flowing very, very gently, and it's difficult to imagine that sometimes the floods down here, that car park, or part of it, actually gets flooded. The dogs enjoyed a little walk along the Pebble Beach. That was a really good stopover place, and I must put a review on Park for Night. Excellent food and quiet, peaceful, really good. But we're in Ironbridge Gorge, which is the location of a number of different communities. At the moment we're in one called Jackfield, where there was a pottery, there was a pottery, it's now a museum, and there's a tile making factory, but that's now a museum. And a little bit further down there's the little village of Ironbridge, and at the far end of the gorge, on the west end of the gorge, is an area known as Coalbrookdale, where in 1709 Abraham Darby came up with a method of smelting iron or iron ore in using coke instead of charcoal, and that allowed a lot of development in the early days of the Industrial Revolution. And one of the things that they did to demonstrate their ability was they built Ironbridge. And there it is. We'll take a close look later.
Oh, what a lovely stop.
Yeah. And now we'll take a drive along the gorge to Ironbridge. And just coming up is the Jackfield Tile Museum. A very interesting looking church over there.
That spire's looking a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some pretty little cottages down there, look.
Just down here the road's going to zigzag or zag-zig, whichever, over what used to be the railway line, and now a very, very nice walk. And during the Industrial Revolution, this area, this whole valley or gorge, was a hive of activity. But now it's partly a dormitory town and mainly for tourists. And those that do live here, many of them live in some very, very pretty little cottages. Unfortunately, the ones particularly on the right hand side tend to flood. This bridge that we're going to go across in a minute is comparatively new. I remember it when it was built, and it replaced an old concrete bridge which was literally falling to pieces. You could see the reinforcement rods all over the place. It was about to fall down. That was the River Severn. And here there's some old remains of old blast furnaces somewhere along here. I think there were furnaces of something, I can't remember what those were.
Are they kilns?
Kilns. Old furnaces there. Ah, missed that.
I got it.
Did you? Now we're entering the little town of Ironbridge, perched on the side of the hill, or the side of the valley, gorge. Right, you see this roundabout here? If we do the drop off, this is the place that you come back to turn around. This is the centre of Ironbridge, and to the left is the bridge itself. You'll see in a minute. And there it is. I can park here. I think I can get in there. Well, there's the bridge, and they started building it in 1779, and it was opened for use in 1781, and in 1934 it was closed to traffic, and it's built of locally made cast iron. And the bridge is now just used by pedestrians, and if you come here, that building there is actually a museum of the bridge. Interesting. And there's a sign of the wealth that would have been around here. A Tontine Hotel. And that's next to the little village town or town square. If you're not aware of what a tontine is, it's a gamble that was entered into by some wealthy people. You can Google it and look it up. But now it's time to move on towards Welshpool and episode 2. So please come back and see a little bit of Welshpool. Thanks for watching.